first, let me share a little bit about soul retrieval and why it's so important.
Good.
The reason why soul retrieval is so important is because I think that soul retrieval is the main way that we heal. The reason that we aren't whole in the first place is because we have lost parts of ourselves throughout time and space. When we're children, from the ages of 0 to 8, we're primarily emotional. And so in this life, that's going to be the foundation of trauma. And once the frontal lobe of the brain starts to activate around the age of 8, that gives us the ability to rationalize and make choices, and we can sort of talk ourselves out of being traumatized. But before then, being primarily emotional, we don't know how to sort and separate what's ours and what's others. And so what happens is that, say, an emotion starts to move through us, like sadness or anger or fear, and it starts to move in, and all emotion is a cycle that needs to be released fully. So it will start to move in and get stuck. It creates stress, and stress without resolve is trauma. So what happens is the psyche will fragment itself, and pieces of your soul get stuck in that time-space reality, and then you're moving forward, but you're no longer whole. Then the universe will mirror back to you that origin over and over again until you realize, hey, you have soul pieces that you need to gather. So soul pieces, when we call those back, and it can happen in many different ways, that we call soul pieces back to us. But once we have them back, you never lose them again. But that is how you heal, because basically putting yourself back together again from fragmentation.
So you're finding all the different missing puzzle pieces.
Yes.
Throughout different lifetimes.
It can be different lifetimes. Often it's this lifetime.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know soul retrieval could pertain to this lifetime.
Oh, 100%. Not only is soul retrieval from this lifetime, but soul retrieval, from moments throughout time, from our childhood or whatever.
Which maybe we keep recreating over and over.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we keep recreating them. That's why we recreate them, is because of that origin. The pieces are stuck there. And so the universe is mirroring that back to you, that you have soul pieces stuck here, and you can't fully move forward until you create resolve with that. I believe that what affects us even more than past lives is the trauma from this life, including ancestral trauma.
How can you say the trauma from this life and ancestral trauma? Because ancestral is going...
Ancestral trauma is in your DNA.
Oh, okay.
You're born with it. If things from your ancestry have not been resolved, then it will continue to pass down from generation to generation, and it tends to compound.
So it wouldn't necessarily be a past life experience that you personally had, but somebody in your DNA, that lineage may have.
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of it's similar to the somatic experiencing of moving things through the body, for one, right? Working with the body and the from a cellular standpoint. So doing the somatic experiencing, but the same process that I walk people through to do their inner child work, we would do ancestral work similarly. So it could be that the origin you go back to is one of your ancestors. Maybe you're not going to go back to your childhood in this moment, but maybe instead you go to an ancestral piece, and then we create resolve or do the healing work around that specifically. You said something about if something's really hard for them to deal with, right? I won't always walk somebody through the process of doing the soul retrieval. I will sometimes do it for them if I feel like that's the place that they're at. So sometimes I'll journey into it. It's not that I'm having the experience, it's more like I'm going as a witness or an observer, but I'm also creating healing in that time-space reality that I'm going to, getting the soul pieces and bringing them back and returning them to the person. I'll do that for somebody if I feel like it's not something they can face right now, or if it's so deep in the psyche that I don't feel like we're gonna get to it unless I go directly there. So sometimes things have to sort of be shaken up and out for a person to be able to look at it. But otherwise I would walk people through it, because it's actually a more powerful process when you go through it yourself. But sometimes even the things that I do soul retrieval with, they may need to visit themselves at some point, but I'm able to bridge the gap for them in that.
And you're there with them.
And
so I would and the work that I have done, I call that entrainment. So where you go in and you create this space so that your client can follow you in and they're safe with you because you're there as the umbrella, as the protector. So she's going to help you to go into a kind of trance state, meditative, very deep meditative state. And you're going to follow her through that. She's going to take you with her.
Depends on the situation. So it depends on what we're going in for. Are we going in, to an inner child journey? Each journey can be different based on the person, and I am doing this very intuitively. And I would say my strongest sense in doing this is my clairsentience, which is the feeling state and feeling into what this person is experiencing. And then second to that would be the clairvoyance, where I'm also seeing what is happening for this person. So if I am working with somebody in an inner child capacity, I would be leading them into a memory or something like that first. And in that memory, we go in, we are meeting the child where she or he is and acknowledging the child first and foremost. What's the child's experience? What's happening? Who's there with you? Where are you? All of this. So we're sort of setting the stage. The key things here is that you create resolve for the child and you get her soul pieces back. If there's a person there who created the trauma in the first place, then one of the key components of that is that you protect the child from the person.
Protection that they didn't have.
Protection
in real
that
life.
they did not have then, yeah. So you can actually change the past, because the past is only real to you at this point, right?
Totally agree.
And how you're feeling it in your body and experiencing it in your reality. So that's basically what we're doing, is we're going in and we're changing the past.